make news. Tonight we look back on the events that happened in the past decade that now threaten to plunge the world back into another world war. Now we go to the field with Dan McLaughlin for insight on the rise of the Nazi Party.
I'm here in Germany attending one of Hitler's infamous speeches. As you can see, he's a very persuasive speaker. Even if you don't know what he's saying, it sounds powerful, doesn't it? Hitler and the Nazi Party, formerly known as the National Socialist German Workers' Party, has been rising in power over the last couple of years. Hitler, with his charisma, recently became leader of the Nazi Party, calling himself Der Führer, German for the leader. He and his party's growing popularity can be attributed to extreme nationalism and vast promises conveyed to the public of Germany. With goals of uniting the Germanic countries under one large expanded empire and enforcing racial purification, Hitler has bold, radical ideas. But for the German people, in a time of depression, unemployment, and desperation, Hitler seems like a good political choice to many.
There have been recent reports that the newly elected leader of Germany, Adolf Hitler, has been directly violating the Treaty of Versailles. This was the treaty written on June 28, 1919, at the end of the First World War. It stated that the army must be downsized to 1,000 men, that the draft be abolished, and that the Navy keeps only 6 battleships and no submarines. As we're hearing from our sources, the army is growing far past the 100,000 man limit, and the use of research subs has now been confirmed. Also, they appear to be training Air Force pilots through civilian programs, so they don't draw attention to themselves. It seems clear that the Nazi Party is growing in strength and numbers. Now we go to the field with Dan McLaughlin for insight on Japanese imperialism.
Thanks, Nick. I'm here on scene in Nanking, China, where Japan has just invaded, and by the looks of it, they're proving successful. They're on a conquest for land and resources, and plan to turn Nanking into an imperialistic state. It has been estimated that up to 300,000 soldiers and civilians have been killed here today. I'm back here again witnessing a similar event to what I covered last year in China. Japan has now invaded a territory claimed by the Soviet Union on grounds of a border dispute.
Now to our specialist with the situation in Czechoslovakia.
Thanks, Nick. Delegates of Germany, France, Britain, and Italy met in Munich, Germany to negotiate the Nazi German annexation of the Czechoslovakian territory of Sudetenland. On September 30th, Nazi Germany was allowed to annex Sudetenland, containing a large population of ethnic Germans. Germany has been asking for this territory for some time now, because Germany's new leader, Adolf Hitler, has been trying to unite all German people under one German empire. France and England decided that they would try to appease Germany by letting them have some of this territory. Many people are now seeing this as a betrayal, for the Czechoslovakian delegate was not invited to the negotiations of their own territory. As well are the Czechs saying that France did not respect their military alliances. The territory of Sudetenland was immensely important to Czechoslovakia because most of their troops were stationed in that territory, as well as many of their banks and resources. The Czechs see this as a betrayal, and so call this the Munich Betrayal. As a result of this betrayal, Germany thought that by Britain and France giving them Sudetenland, they were allowed to invade all of Czechoslovakia as well. As a result of this occupation, on March 13th, Slovakia seceded into their own independent state, as well as Carpathian Ruthenia, which was then taken by Hungary 3 days later. Not soon after, Czech President Emil Hácha signed the acceptance of German occupation in Czechoslovakia was a protectorate of the Reich. After the British saw that their appeasement plan for the Nazis was not working, they and France started to mobilize their armies, causing Italy to feel threatened and invade Albania.
Now for an interview between Alex Olmsted and Joseph Stalin.
Thanks, Nick. I'm here with Joseph Stalin to conduct an interview about his rise to power in Russia and Russia's rise to being a world power.
Я очень доволен рассказывать вам про игры, которые сегодня утром играл.
Stalin, how would you explain the Great Purge to our viewers?
Сегодня утром я очень долго играл на компьютере. И факт в том, что я проснулся, и первое, что я делал, это сел за компьютер. Там я играл очень долго в игры, где убивают дьяволов. Если вы к этому против, тогда со мной больше не разговаривайте. В этой игре у меня был выбор, кем играть. У меня был выбор тех, кто владеет волками, тем, кто владеет ножом, тем, кто владеет очень много разных вещей. Со мной про это не спорьте.
What about the reported deaths that numbered in the thousands?
Выбросить ее? Вы с ума сошли? Вы хотите, чтобы я пошел и игру, за которую я заплатил, которая мне нравится, которую я играю почти каждый день, много часов. Вы хотите, чтобы я ее перестал играть? Ой, что я сейчас вам сделал?
How did you launch the Soviet Union from being a society of farmers to being one of the world's most industrialized nations?
Конечно, нет. Знаешь, дело в том, что если у меня есть wardrobe, и просто после этого ничего нельзя делать. Посмотрите, я купил себе ножницы, хорошие ножницы, scissors. Ну, понимаешь, дело в том, что невозможно работать, если нету хорошего материала. При этом в том, что мне говорят, пожалуйста, пойдите cereal купите, и никак нельзя. Ухожу домой, сажусь на... Ну, просто невозможно. У меня подушка, pillow, и в итоге просто невозможно ничего делать. Как у меня Сталин, и при этом, ну, фу.
The Soviet Union was a diverse country made up of many ethnic groups. How has that worked so far?
Я уверен, что учитель Маклафлин очень-очень добрый и хороший человек. Но факт в том, что если все, что он делает, это учит wrestling, тогда что мне делать? Потому что это он все, что умеет делать. Дело в том, что если вы хотите от меня услышать нормальный ответ, тогда, пожалуйста, придите после того, как я закончил играть на компьютерную игру. Мне эта компьютерная игра очень интересна, потому что только что я убил третьего самого тяжелого человека в игре. Он владетель места, где, как сказать, ну, страшных снов. Да, в этом месте.
Many people seem to be upset about this. Can you justify this?
Да, конечно, нет. Конечно, я ни про что не думал, пока я играл эти игры. Единственная вещь это в том, что когда прошло 3 часа, я все равно продолжал играть эти игры. До сих пор, если ты не понимаешь, про что я говорю. Видишь, мне даже тяжело улыбаться, потому что я хочу говорить про эти вещи. И факт в том, что они пришли ко мне в дом, и я хочу играть, но нельзя играть, потому что они сюда пришли и мне мешают играть. И теперь вы хотите, чтобы я здесь сидел с вами разговаривал? О, идите в черт. Фу.
Thank you for your time, Stalin. Now back to Nick in the studio.
We have breaking news that President Roosevelt has just signed another Neutrality Act. You may remember the previous 2 acts, one of which was signed and passed in February of 1936 to close the loopholes of the first act from the previous year. It also banned the trade of war materials. The second and third act were passed in January and May of 1937, which tightened our restrictions in business and travel. Finally, this act of neutrality forbids our ships to go into combat zones. We can only speculate that there will be more to come with this act, and more negative results will follow. Many Americans think that, just as it did in the First World War, the decision to stay neutral will cause us pain and eventually we will have to go to war.
Farm fresh beeves! We've got the best beeves in town. Now kept fresh with our brand new refrigeration technology. We've got your Chinese beeves, we got your European beeves, and right from the good old US of A. So come on down to Farm Fresh Farm to get your farm fresh beeves.
This has been a recap of the events that lead us up to our predicament with the rest of the world. This is Nicholas Sauerbrunn for Channel 8 News signing off. Good night and good luck.